The automotive world has gushed over Kia's EV6. Many people forget the South Korean brand's Niro beat it by years. It never became a household name. Could have been the lack of marketing, the balanced but anonymous design, or powertrain confusion, since it was also sold as a hybrid and plug-in hybrid. This is the 2023 Niro. It's all new, including the architecture. Generation 2 is bigger in nearly every dimension, roomier too. The designers had more fun shaping the sheet metal and playing with paint. This isn't just a splash of color, it's a panel called the Aeroblade. Look close. It's a bit like a side-mounted spoiler.
If you like the look, you've got some decisions to make because Niro has 3 different powertrains. A standard hybrid, this plug-in hybrid with 33 miles of all-electric range, and a full EV that'll go 253 miles on a charge.
60% of our customers are new to the brand.
I'm at the launch event north of San Diego, California. As you'd imagine, a vehicle with 3 electrified powertrains will be sold with eco-green messaging. More than low or no emissions, Niro is big into recycling.
First off, check out the headliner. It's made out of recycled wallpaper. The seats are made with eucalyptus leaves. And then, of course, the chemical-free paint used inside of the vehicle on many of the features. The other feature that we offer that is exclusive to Niro, and I haven't seen on any other car in the industry, is what we call the Green Zone Drive Mode. And this is applicable to the hybrid and the plug-in hybrid, so the vehicle can automatically detect certain zones like schools, hospitals, residential, and will change from the ICE and EV mode to pure EV. And it does it with the navigation. So it uses map navigation data from the vehicle. You don't have to have navigation running or destination set. It will always work in the background.
A good amount of the carpet and fabric content is from recycled plastic bottles. All models will be available in all 50 states and are strictly front-wheel drive. Having 3 powertrains is great. Marketing-wise, I wonder if it will confuse consumers. Let's begin with the standard hybrid, starting at around $27,800 with shipping. Its 1.6-liter 4-cylinder and electric drive motor make 139 horsepower and 195 pound-feet of torque in total. Kia markets this as a crossover and a fuel sipper.
The hybrid, we have best-in-class 53 mile per gallon combined fuel economy. That's better than any crossover hybrid vehicle on the market, right? That translates into a 588 mile driving range.
Kia says the hybrid will make up half of all Niro sales. With limited time, I didn't drive it, splitting my time between the EV and the plug-in. The PHEV starts at $35,000. It's 120 pounds heavier and uses the same 4-cylinder, but a more powerful electric drive motor that combine for 180 horsepower and 195 pound-feet of torque. The 11.1 kilowatt-hour lithium-ion polymer battery that's under here is good for 33 miles of all-electric range. That's up by 25%. It takes 3 hours to charge using 240-volt level 2. Spotter's Guide, it's the only Niro with a port on the front flanks. Charged every night, that's 12,000 gas-free miles annually. Chances are the gas engine will remain dormant on fire-up. Like the standard hybrid, the PHEV actually shifts gears with a 6-speed dual-clutch transmission. These are not for manual control. The right paddle backs recuperation drag off. This one adds it. At the highest level, one-pedal driving is easily doable. Select pure EV mode, automatic, or save the electric range for later. There are the expected Kia drive modes that switch up the instrument cluster graphics. Leaving the event with a full charge, all check on the all-electric range. But first, some details on the EV that I'm doing a separate video on. Again, front-wheel drive only. It's the most powerful of the Niros, also the heaviest by 650 pounds over the standard hybrid. There's 201 horsepower and 188 pound-feet of torque, plus a small storage area, good for a portable charge cable so you can mooch off your friends when staying with them for the weekend. The all-electric range is rated at 253 miles. Graphics communicate that well. Its max charging rate is 85 kilowatts, far from the 250 kilowatts of EV6. That's something to keep in mind if you travel a lot. Other than some gauge graphics, the cabin is very similar to other Niros. All right, let's get back to the PHEV.
Remember, the plug-in hybrid has more power than the standard hybrid, so if you want a little bit more oomph, you're going to want this. I'm going to guesstimate that the plug-in does 0 to 60 in about 8 seconds.
Might be a second slower, EVs with instant torque feel faster than they are. Remember, Niro is about efficiency. The 6-speed dual clutch is smooth and unobtrusive.
I'm finding that even in pure EV mode, when you put your foot hard into the throttle, the engine will kick on because you're asking for more power.
Once the battery is depleted, it defaults to a standard hybrid dynamic most will never know it's happening. The gauge cluster lets you know demands on the system and when power is being regenerated.
The estimated all-electric range is 33 miles. I'm pretty much nailing that. That's a combination of city and highway driving. Temperatures in the mid-70s. And when you're just running on gas, it's pretty efficient. 48 mpg average, according to the EPA.
FYI, I own a plug-in hybrid that has an EV range of 35 to 40 miles and typically buy 1 tank of gas a year. Traveling cross-country? Well, then switch to dinosaur juice. That's the benefit of plug-ins.
At highway speeds, 75 miles an hour or so, not much wind noise, not much road noise. For a car in this class, Niro is pretty darn quiet.
The pedal feel when transitioning from regenerative braking to the physical brakes is mostly seamless.
The driving dynamics are what you'd expect from a car in this class. It's comfortable with a little bit of sport. Chuck it hard into a corner, and there's going to be some understeer. This is a good, solid, everyday setup.
Not a lot of road feel through the wheel. Visibility is pretty good. The D-pillar is a bit large, but the blind spot is manageable.
There's an awful lot of standard active electronic safety tech, so much so, I'm gonna let the Kia folks take this one.
These are all the standard ADAS features on every single Niro. The entry-level hybrid has all of this, right? So things like forward collision warning, all the lane keeping and following assists. Blind spot warning, this is something that most of our competitors don't offer standard. It's usually an option or one level up. In the case of the Niro, it's 100% standard, as is the rear cross-traffic collision avoidance.
Let's focus on the interior. Since it's what drivers see the most of, the space is a pleasant one to spend time in. The PHEV is available in 2 trims. This is the top SX Touring that retails for $40,800. Materials look and feel good. There are interesting textures. This trim is lighted and changes color with the drive modes. The 2 separate screens embedded in this large swept blade sort of look like one. I have to wonder how the broad planks of piano black will hold up to scratching. There's more than usual here. I found no issue with the seats in a full day of driving. They're heated and vented. The driver's is powered. The passenger has to adjust things manually. The wheel is heated too. Like the EV6, this panel toggles between the HVAC and shortcuts to the interface, so the left knob is both the sound system volume and temperature adjustment. I'm not a fan. At least the driver has dedicated control here. There's enough places to squirrel things away. A clever center console feature lets you add or take away cup holders, but don't forget to hydrate, okay? To my ears, the 8-speaker Harman Kardon sound system is good for a mainstream vehicle. If you've been in a modern Kia, the interface should be very familiar, easy to use with good touch response. It can also help you find a charging station, though this being a plug-in hybrid, the gas engine means you don't need to juice up. There's a charging pad below for your phone, but the top version of the interface doesn't get wireless Android Auto or Apple CarPlay. I've never heard a good answer from the engineers why that is.
Evil Twin can't make it to events, so I'll do my best impression, starting with an insult. Wow, do you ever wear anything other than Levi's? No, I don't. Show some fashion sense. All right, got that out of the way. I am 5'9". Headroom, really good in the Niro. Same with knee, leg, and foot room. The cushions are high enough so that thigh support is excellent. Door openings are moderate, so yeah, you can get car seats in and out, just a little juggling. Door pockets, those are kind of small. My brother would like this, pockets on both seats. There is no separate climate zone. There are adjustable vents. However, there are heated seats at this trim level. Very nice. Also, I like where Kia puts the USB ports. They're up high, easy to get to. The center spine is moderate in size. It will take up a little bit of footroom if you have 3 adults back here, and you can do that. But if you want everybody to be comfortable, keep it to 2 back here. In that case, this is a nice space.
The second generation Niro's design is bolder than the outgoing car, distinct but not over the top. Kia's design team keeps knocking it out of the park. You need to move up to top trims to get the contrasting color aero blade. It's a look that sets this car apart. There's a little Porsche Macan in the lower flanks too. The tiger nose grille keeps getting more and more abstract. The tab shape repeats at the top of the windshield. There are some nice LED touches too. It doesn't look like an Econobox. Gripes? Well, some won't like that the signaling happens down here, and I'm a fan of tucking the wiper under the spoiler for a cleaner look.
I'm sure there's a Costco close by, but this being an event, I just don't have the time to do it, so I'll just start out by telling you the cargo area is about average for a vehicle this size, almost 20 cubic feet with seats up. That's 3 less than the hybrid.
Only the trunk basics are here, nothing like a power port or those handy elastic straps. There's some storage under the floor, but the battery and subwoofer take up space that a spare would slide into. There's just a repair kit. It's pretty easy to reach in and drop the backs without messing up your clothes. There's no pass-through or 40-20-40 split option. The seats fold nearly flat, just not quite. I can tell you that the outgoing Niro took on 6 packs of the 2-ply. I think this should score about the same. All you're going to get out of this trip is my camera bag that's just a skosh smaller than a carry-on suitcase. For red light, green light, I'm focusing on the plug-in hybrid I spent the most time with. Let's go. Green lights. There's a Niro for nearly every budget and level of electrification. Choice is good. The design, especially with the aero blade and contrasting paint, advances the style without looking gimmicky. The driving dynamics are solid for a vehicle positioned towards efficiency. There's a lot of advanced tech that's either standard or available. Yellow lights? Great that the PHEV has decent electric range. I'd like to see 40 miles instead of 33. It's a personal benchmark for me. Wireless Android Auto and Apple CarPlay are standard in the lower trims, not available in top trims. Yes, the powertrain choices are great. It's also confusing to some buyers. Trust me, you should read my emails. Red lights. Want all-wheel drive? Niro says no to that. Time will tell if the piano black in the cockpit will hold up. It tends to scratch. And teasing my video with the all-electric version, its charging speed is not nearly as fast as Big Brother EV6. Plug-in hybrids mean there's an engine and transmission that need maintenance. On the positive, they help people segue into the EV lifestyle. Given that they lower fuel costs and eliminate range anxiety, I'm surprised that Kia believes the PHEV will only make up 15% of Niro sales.
All in all, the Niro is a pretty good package. It's comfortable, it's quiet, it's practical, it's efficient, and you can buy it with 3 different powertrains. A lot of choice here.
Assess your budget and needs and buy the vehicle that works for you. The stylish second-generation Niro is worth a test drive. It's an eco-friendly and wallet-friendly way to get around. Part of the reason I'm not including the EV into this story is Kia hasn't announced pricing yet, so I'm hedging a couple days to see if that drops, and that way you get a bonus video. Love the bit about the headliner being made from recycled wallpaper. Apparently the covering is huge in South Korea, where Niro is manufactured. This is one way to get rid of it. Not sure if you folks remember the habanero concept that dropped at the 2019 New York Auto Show. Squint and you can see the lineage of the production car. Now, seeing it in person, I knew the butterfly doors and interior treatment wouldn't make it into production. Glad to see the Aeroblade and contrasting paint did. Habanero also had a silver front element meant to recall a shark's nose. That didn't make it either. Could have. Well, there's always the aftermarket.
This is the end where I normally give you guys a fun fact, but this time a little bit of behind the scenes stuff. But first, full disclosure, Kia brought me down here, put me up in a very nice hotel and fed me good food, but that doesn't matter to me. I'm here to give you accurate information. That's what's important to me. At these events, they brand everything, and I do mean everything. This is the lobby of the hotel, and Kia has taken it over. Logo, 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 everywhere. I mean, everywhere. And speaking of logos, oftentimes automakers name them. For example, Volvo calls theirs the Iron Mark. Any idea what Kia calls their new one? Anyone? Pretty exotic. It's called the Kia logo. I asked the PR people around here and they said, yeah, it's just our new logo. And I like it. A little bit abstract, much more upscale than the old oval with KIA in it. So yeah, we'll see how it ages. Well, thanks for watching. Remember, subscribe to this channel, click notifications, follow me on Twitter. I'm very active there. You can leave me questions or do that in the comments, okay? All right, that's Driven. I'm Tom Voelk.